Hey everyone, my name is Dipesh. I'm a graphic designer and Curtin University lecturer. So welcome to my space, my studio. This is where I work on everything from logos, I create illustrations for beer and wine packaging, and even doing large-scale murals for public spaces and private commissions. Today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to run through how to create a custom Photoshop brush. We're going to use a bunch of markers and create some hand-drawn textures, scan those in, and that's what we're going to be using to create our Photoshop brushes. So we're going to need a couple of things before we kick off. You're going to need some paper, something to create some marks with, either brushes or markers, pens, and just a computer with a copy of Photoshop on it. I love this technique because you can create some custom gritty textures to your work. You're pretty much making a stamp for your artwork. Step one, we're going to need some markers and some brushes, pretty much anything that you can use to create some marks. Pencils and biros aren't the best because they're too thin and pencils are too washy. So anything like a thick marker, paintbrushes, pretty much anything to create some dark lines with is going to be your best bet. Cool, so let's get started. So what I love about this method is the imperfections and the organic nature of the work. You can create these really kind of textural lines that you can't really replicate on a computer. And that's a great thing. So even markers or pens that are running out will give you this really nice kind of light to dark element to your marks that you're making. No two marks are the same as well. That's what kind of looks really cool. And it just adds that nostalgic kind of gritty texture to all the work that you've done. Working fast really is the key, kind of just quick strokes, not being overly precious with it. And really it's just getting a bunch of lines and experimenting with a bunch of different materials. Now, once you've made your marks, the next stage is to scan this in and upload it to your computer. Now, you don't need a fancy scanner. Mine's one of those 4-in-1 printers that you pick up from Officeworks. If you don't have a scanner at all, it's much more effective to even just take a photo with your phone and airdrop that or email it to yourself. If you do have a scanner, it doesn't need to be super high res. 300 DPI is good. So once you've scanned in your page, the next stage is to crop the actual textures that you want to use to create your brushes. Once we've got our texture cropped, you want to hit Shift-Command-U and desaturate it. This is important because sometimes your paper will be yellow or the lining will be a bit off. We want to ensure that the image is actually just black and white. Then we're going to hit Command-L to bump up our levels. We want to get the whites of the paper really white and then the blacks of the ink really black. Once we've adjusted our levels, the next stage is to make our actual brush. And we do that by hitting Edit and dropping down to Define Brush Preset. Now, you can call your brush whatever you like, hit Enter, and that's pretty much it. Your brush will appear at the bottom section of your brushes panel. Try play around with the size and the color of your brushes. You can come up with some really cool effects that you can apply to your own artwork. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I think one of the main things I love about teaching at Curtin is passing on my 10 years of industry experience to you guys. I studied at Curtin myself, so it feels really good to pass that knowledge on to you. Give this a try at home, and we'll hopefully see you on campus where we can work on some other cool stuff together. See ya.